Popeye, with your assistance, let it begin.
Jerks! Shame! Jerks!
The jerk list.
I see all that. There's too many jerks.
That's what I love about
Jerk!
the jerk list.
A severe penalty for being a jerk.
You're a jerk!
The jerk list.
Jerks! Jerks! What an outrage. Shame! You're a jerk! Jerk!
The jerk
There's
list.
too many jerks.
The jerk list.
Judge rules. Jerk!
All right, Popeye. Nice job there. But let me tell you something. The pressure's really on you. Yes, I am the leader of this charge, this righteous charge to take down the jerks and creeps of the world. But you, sir, are my newly hired sharpshooter. You're going to be handling the Han Solo Edition blaster. Are you ready for that task? Oh, I see. Nicely answered. All right. Let it begin. Like I say, the world needs changing. I was in Vegas for Sweet 16 weekend a couple weekends ago. Before the game started on Saturday, the games that maybe the Pitt Panthers could have been participating in had they made a couple more layups against UCLA, I go into the sports book to watch the Pens are playing an afternoon game against the Thrashers, the one that the Pens pulled out there. I go in there, every TV is turned to this girls' basketball nonsense. When did it become that we have to watch this? I understand, fine, they play the games. Why is it constantly on TV? Is anyone actually interested in it? In the meantime, I had to go up to the guy at the sports book and ask him to turn one of the 6 TVs off of girls' basketball so that I could watch the Penguins. And he said, well, I'll do it, but if anybody comes along and wants to turn back to something else, we got to go back to that. I said, what kind of world is this? He said, it's a world that doesn't care about the NHL. And you know what I said to him? I said, you, sir, are a jerk! All right there, Popeye. You took him down. You took him down. Number two on the list. Herb Carneal. 45 years, the Twins broadcaster, play-by-play guy, a legend. I've never heard his work, but I am familiar with the name. He was a legend. He just passed away, an old man. And it's very sad. He's in the Hall of Fame, I think. It's very sad, but here's what gets me down about it. The pictures that they keep showing of him on TV, now that he's dead, to memorialize him when they give his date, his date of birth and date of death and everything, is a picture of him as an old man. Don't do this to me, right? Let me make this clear right now. 2 things about my death, which may or may not happen. But if the day comes that I pass away, what then? How shall I be remembered? Show me when I was a handsome devil. And believe me, people of Pittsburgh, I am easy on the eyes. I've said it before. I'll say it again now. I guess the best way to describe me is ruggedly handsome. And I think if you go to the website 937thezone.com, I think you'll agree. As a matter of fact, Popeye, as a little side note, I think people can go in there and email us during the show. If you click on the Dave Dameshek picture there, the handsome devil there, click on that, and I think you can give us some live info, and we'll read that on the air. Anyway, I digress. Listen, first of all, when I die, show a picture of me as a handsome devil, and don't show me as an old man, because that's not how I want to be remembered. Now, I'm sure Herb, for all his great work and everything, he's proud he made it 45 years, but if he could speak to us from the grave, he'd show me, he'd say, show me as a young man. And if you don't want to do that, you know what you get in return? You get this. You're a jerk. All right. My wife, as I say, my bride Cindy is knocked up. And so we can't really do a whole lot, but people keep telling us, go see movies now because you're not going to have a chance to do it once you have the kid. There's no time for any of that sort of thing. So a couple weeks ago, I said, let's go to a movie tonight. So we leave the house, and we're running a little late. It's going to be a little tight for us. And in the garage that we have to pull out of, somebody has pulled their car and just left it there with the flashers on. So we can't get out of our own garage. So I start honking my horn. And, 1 minute turns into 2, and 2 turns into 4, and 4 turns into 8. And now I'm going wild. Who's just parked their car here with the flashers on? I'm going bananas with this. And then all of a sudden, our next door neighbor comes out. He said, well, I live in a part of L.A. Right now, gay part of town, you know, lot of the sweet fellas around, you know, fine with me, but you know, either way, I think he was having an argument with his man friend, and whatever, he was inside and he was out of sorts, but that's no excuse to park your car in my driveway so I can't pull my car out of the garage. So he comes over, and he just starts to get directly into his car without making eye contact with us. And I said, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he said, and he starts getting into his car. I said, no apology? You can't even say you're sorry? I said, we're running late for this movie. And he said, very, very snidely, said, sorry, like that. You know what I said to him? You're a jerk! All right. Now, what we got to do is, with these movies, speaking of that, while we're on that subject, we still are able to watch movies theoretically from our house, you would think, you know, but I find it, it's a little ominous for me right now. I'm worried about watching movies once we have the baby, because right now we have the satellite dish. And like I say, I like to watch a lot of Penguin hockey games. I'm one of the 7 people in North America who owns the NHL package on the satellite dish. I watch that, watch the Pirates and everything else, and I keep up to date with that stuff. But I also have, you know, 50-some movie channels. You know, I have a million movie channels to choose from. Why is it, then, that there is never anything on any of them? If I find Roadhouse, and believe me, I love Roadhouse, and I love Red Dawn, and those movies are on a lot, but even now I'm getting a little tired. Now that I've hit the century mark on both those movies, viewing-wise, I've seen each of them at least 100 times, I'd like a little variety. There's never anything on these movie channels. Cinemax, Stars, Showtime, I have them all. HBO. I'll tell you what, it's not TV. You know what it is? It's a jerk! All right, and now it is time for the Creep of the Week. Creep, creep, creep of the week, He or she is the creep of the week. All right, this week, they just played before the start of, we're now underway with the regular season of baseball. But before that, they played something called the Civil Rights Game down in Memphis. Sounds like a nice idea, right? You know, listen, progressive sport of baseball, first to have an African-American play and everything. Civil rights, so, that's a good thing, But how about this? First of all, the reasons that they're on there are twofold. First of all, the teams that played in the game, one of the two teams, first of all, was the Cardinals. The other team that played, the Indians. Civil rights. That's not even what they're called anymore. It's politically incorrect to call them Indians. So the Civil Rights Game, but you got Chief Wahoo of the tribe dancing around like some sort of buffoon, some sort of clown for the white man's entertainment. That's count number one that brings. But really what pushes them over the top is for Creep of the Week. You're playing the game in Memphis. And why is the game being played in Memphis? Because that's where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Huh. Why do it where he was killed? What is good about that? Why not do it at his place of birth? Excuse me. What this is what we're paying homage. Let's remember him by where he was killed? That's grim. That's grotesque. It's not happy, it's sad. What kind of thing is that? I'll tell you what kind of thing it is. Next year, instead of calling it the Civil Rights Game, how about we call it this? The Game for the Creeps of the Week. Thank you, sir. You know what I left out, though? Maybe this is the way to do it from now on. As I've traditionally done it, I like to mix a little sugar with the vinegar. And I like to point out when people do nice things. I imagine that Kid Crosby, if things go the way I would very much like them to go over these next couple and few weeks and 2 months, I would like for Kid Crosby to be a regular member of the Get Out of Jerk Free Club. I give a card, you see, to do-gooders Yeah, it's important to take down these jerks, as I've just done. Look, there's still a lot of work. I'm not going to kid you. I don't want to kid myself. We got a long way to go to get rid of all these jerks and creeps. But you know what? We just took down 5. We're going to keep working towards it. We just took down the civil rights game, and now I want to shine a light on a couple of people who have done good things. All right. First of all, if only I had the piece of paper on which it was written, I could tell you all about it. But let's see. Oh, yes, here we go. First of all, I like this story. There was a guy who was arrested in Jersey some months back. One of his coworkers reported he drives a Zamboni at the ice rink, this guy. And one of his coworkers, who by the way is a jerk for reporting him, said he was drunk driving the Zamboni, so he got turned in. He got arrested for it. By the way, yeah, go ahead, Popeye. Yeah, give the guy the shot for being a jerk. Who turns their coworker in for having a few belts? This guy says he had. He said he told the police he had some Sambuca with his breakfast coffee and 2 Valium pills before work. Get off his back. He drives a Zamboni. Now, the judge finally saw the case, and he said, a Zamboni's not a car. It's not, you don't take it out onto the road. The guy's cleaning ice for a living. Cut him some slack. And for that, Judge, I give you the get-out-of-jerk-free card. And here's what you do with that. Should you become a jerk in the future, you know what? You're only human. It may happen. You now have a card, and you can buy your way out of it. It's sort of like in Monopoly. You know, the get-out-of-jail-free card, same thing. Now if you have a jerk, you play that card, you're back to square. All right? That's the one. Number 2, there's a guy in Bloomington, Indiana. I went to college at Indiana University. There's a guy who apparently went into the same steakhouse there 4 weeks in a row. I love this guy. He went in there, ordered a steak and 2 belts 3 weeks in a row, and then ditched the check. Walked out on the check. Each time the bill was $25 and some change, something like that. And finally, the 4th week, he went back to see if he could do it again, and they were ready for him, and they called the cops on him, and he got busted. But I'll tell you what, I like your ambition. I can only imagine that this was part of a bet, and I can't imagine that doing it 3 times didn't win you that bet. Either way, you got busted for it, but I like your spirit, sir, and you get the second get-out-of-jerk-free card of the week. Congratulations to both of you fellas. All right. Hey, Popeye, I got to tell you, nice job with the trigger. You missed you no errant shots. You were precise. That's what I want.
Thanks, Dave.
I need a lethal, cold-blooded assassin.
I've been practicing.
You understand? Yes. I mean, unfortunately, your morals and ethics cannot get in the way of my demands. Do you see? I'm sorry about that. That's the way we got to do it.
I'll try and work on that, Dave.
Okay, well, now, listen, I'm complimenting you. You've done a terrific job. Unfortunately, the Buffalo Sabres, a late edition, also, they're up 2-1 in the second period on our Pens, and so just give them one. The Buffalo Sabres, you're jerks. No? All right, that's that. Oh, there you go. Resting on your laurels already, eh, Popeye?
I had to reload my blaster. I was out of
that sounds
charges.
dirty.